You are now listening to the Girl Organize That Life podcast. Coach L3.
Hi, welcome to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, the premier space for high-achieving moms, mompreneurs, and lady leaders who are ready to stop surviving and start strategically living. I'm your host, Leslie Latimore-Lorfils, proud mother of 12 incredible children, senior Army veteran with nearly 3 decades of distinguished service, certified transformational trainer, and founder of Girl Organize That Life. And around here, we do more than juggle. We build, we lead, we rise. Each week, we dive into faith-fueled strategies, powerful mindset shifts, and purpose-driven business tactics designed to help you activate your next level. Whether you're navigating boardrooms or bedtime routines, our signature 8-step GPS system guides you to clarity, structure, and sustainable success. Because, sis, you are not just busy, you're called. This is where overwhelm meets order, where vision meets velocity, and where women like you boldly declare, I'm enough. So if you're ready to organize your life, scale your impact, and create legacy level freedom, let's get into it. Your elevation starts now. Hey girl, hey, welcome to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where we continue to empower executive level women who are struggling with burnout, wanting to organize their lives, streamline the things that they have going on. And we just wrapped up season 3, and this is season 4. And what makes it special is that I have some dynamic individuals who are coming on to bless the masses. We're gearing up for our second Get Going Girl Summit, which is taking place 18 through 20 September of this year. And you get to hear from one of our dynamic speakers on tonight, which makes this episode extremely special. So I would like to introduce Dr. Terri Alford. She is an amazing individual who believes in attracting abundance. And tonight we're going to talk about what that means from her territory. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, Dr. Terri, first of all, thank you for blessing us and being here today. Thank you so much for just saying yes to the cause. And what I want to know is, what else should these ladies know about you?
Well, thank you for having me. And I would say the other thing that they should know is I am a former educator. As a matter of fact, I'm always an educator. So I love to educate. I still love to see light bulbs go off when I speak, when I teach. I like to see people have those transformations from hearing me speak, from learning from me. So I'm a forever educator, and I'm just a teacher at heart. So I have many titles. I am known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, who specializes in helping business women build wealth and financial freedom so that we can live, lead, and leave multi-million-dollar legacies. But in short, you can call me a teacher.
I love, love, love. Ladies, did you all catch that? Did you all catch that? I tell you what, I am so elated that you get to grace us with your presence. That's absolutely powerful. Dr. Terri and I have had the pleasure of collaborating together before, speaking on a stage together before. And I tell you what, if you are not in that room in September, you are going to miss out on a treat. Tonight, you're just going to get a little snippet of what she has to offer. You're going to get a little snippet of what her energy entails and a little snippet of what's to come next month. So, Dr. Terri, we talk about that word legacy, right?
Yes.
When people hear it, the first thing they think of usually is legacy. What am I going to leave behind for our family members, children, aunts, aunties, whomever? But I want you to talk about, before we get into that part, because everybody wants to know, how do we stretch our dollar? How do we maximize our financial portfolio? But I want you to talk about, what does legacy mean to you in terms of the person? And what do they leave behind as a person?
Beautiful. So I believe that legacy is financial first, right? I know there's a lot of ways that we can leave a legacy, but even the good word that we call the Bible says a good man, a good woman leaves an inheritance for his children, and his children's children. So, in order for us to leave a legacy, we must be in position to leave something for the generations that are after us. And so, I was talking to a lady today, actually, and I was showing her one of our financial plans that gives her the opportunity to make sure that even her children and her grandchildren are going to be well taken care of. So, if you did not come from old money, guess what? Old money can come from you. You can be the beginning of what your generations and what your family and your legacy know as the beginner or the starting person for your generational wealth, for that old money. Now, in addition to legacy being financial, it is also about your influence and your impact. What type of impact are you making on this earth? When you leave this earth, what will people say about you? What will
Yes.
your children be able to receive because of how you lived on earth? There are some people right now who are no longer here, but their children are forever blessed because of the impact their parents made and the impact that their grandparents have made. So legacy is not just about finances, but it's financial first. And then
Mhm.
again, it is about the influence and the impact. One thing that I share with people, I'm not a mother, I don't have any children, I am not married. Yes. However,
Yet.
one thing that I do know is, let's say, heaven forbid, I don't want this to happen, but I do think about it sometimes. What if I have children and I may not be able to live long enough to see them grow and have children and grandchildren? Maybe because I'm starting late, right? What I do know is, even if my grandchildren don't get a chance to meet me, you know what they get? All my videos. You know what they got? All my podcasts. You know what they gonna have? My books. So
Yeah.
they're going to be able to know, even if I don't make it to live to be 99 like Miss Betty White, which I think I will be. But
We will.
if I don't, guess what? My children and my children's children will not just have finances, but they'll also be able to watch the videos, watch the content, and learn and say, Grandma Terry said, and Great Grandma Terry did, and this is what she did, and this is what she planted, and this is what she started. And she was the first in the family to do this, and she was the
Mm.
first in the family to do that. She was the first in the family to have a 7-figure business. She was the first person in the family to have an 8-figure agency. They'll be able to say that,
Mhm.
right? That's what a legacy is about. It's not just about what you're able to do for yourself, but it's about the impact that you are leaving. It's about the influence that you're having and how generations long after you will be blessed because of the work that you're doing today.
I love it. Listen, they're getting high level review tonight. Y'all want the rest of the tea? You gotta come. You gotta be in the room. That's where the magic happens. But I want you. You said so much just now, and there were a lot of firsts in that. So what does that mean? You started from where you were. You put a
Mhm.
thought process in your head, or goal, or dream, and aspiration, and then you backwards plan and say, "How am I going to get after the thing?" So I want you to talk to the lady that's listening. Maybe she feels really overwhelmed. Maybe she feels crushed with life. Maybe she's had so many different circumstances to transpire where it looks like that her possibilities are not there for herself or for her children. Or what would you say to her in terms of mindset and how she needs to be free of those thoughts?
You can be overlooked and still be chosen. You
Mm.
can be overwhelmed and still be chosen, right? You can be over it and still be chosen. So if you're chosen, honey, you are chosen. Queen, you are chosen. And so what you must do is get a good understanding of what your gifts are and what you are on this earth to do. Once you tap into your gifts and you start living out your purpose driven life, everything else is going to fall into place. There's a lot of things that you can do because many of us are talented in a lot of areas, but you are doing that thing when things start falling in place place, but then you have stumbling blocks that you have to overcome, but everything else is falling in place. And so I will say, as a woman who is in a white male dominated industry, and nobody in my family has an insurance agency, no one in my family has a securities license, no one in my family is operating as a full-time entrepreneur. They're just not doing it right. It's okay to be the first. And if you are the first and you are chosen, all the other things that you try is not going to work out, because God is going to redirect you to who you are to be because of who he chose you to be. So again, you can be overwhelmed. You can be over it. You can feel like you're being overlooked. There was a time in my life where I felt like I wasn't popular enough to get awards. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. I'm serving in the community. I'm serving on nonprofit boards. I'm out here teaching. I'm doing things that most people say they do but don't do for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here serving. I've taught people here in the US. I've poured into teachers in Belize who didn't have a lot of resources and showed them how to use STEM in their classroom. And I felt overlooked because I'm seeing these people get awards and trophies at the end of the year at these award ceremonies and galas. And I'm like, never getting. I felt overlooked. But I realized I'm not doing this. I got convicted. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for these trophies. I'm doing this because this is what God told me to do. Baby, I'm going to wear a crown one day. And so it's okay. It is okay for me to feel overlooked. And I can tell you one thing now, though. I'm not overlooked anymore. I don't feel overlooked. I actually feel quite overbooked at this point, right?
From overlooked to overbooked. I love it.
Yes, I went from overlooked to overbooked, but it was because I said I'm not going to have shiny object syndrome. I'm not going to be distracted and try to do 17 different things because I want 17 different streams of income, or I'm looking at 17 different experts. Sometimes the reason that we are overwhelmed and we're overstimulated is because we're doing too much. We're reading too many people's bios. We're looking at too many strategies instead of honing in on the thing that we know God told us to do and working with the people that God told us to work with. We started working with everybody else. There was a time, I'll be honest, there was a time in which I was like, I've already made 6 figures in my business, so I'm going to start a whole nother business. And then when I got ready to start the business, I was like, dang, if I put this much work into the business I already got that's kind of working on autopilot, I would make 2, 3, 4 times as much instead of starting a whole brand new business. Because I thought it was cool. I was like, I'm gonna have 7 different businesses so I can have 7 different streams of income and hit 7 figures. I've grown past that point to know it's important for me to stay in my lane. And where I'm going now is to be able to acquire other businesses, acquire other companies, acquire land, and truly strategize without having to run all these different businesses.
I love that. So what I heard out of that is scan your lane, stay focused. I'm gonna say it again for somebody that's listening, that's like, oh, I'm everywhere. Stay focused. I mean, that was even helpful to me. You know, my background, 12 children, prior military, always operating on 5 different cylinders. And what I have found is that when I'm like, okay, bring it in, bring it to a center, I open up my capacity to do more because I'm centered. So no, I appreciate you sharing that. And somebody is listening to you and they are that serial entrepreneur. They're like, I want this business, that business, this business, that. And they're running on fumes. And they haven't quite figured out, why am I running on fumes? Well, you can't be doing 5 different things. We're sold to the illusion of multitasking, which is a complete farce. It's a myth. And that when we do that, we're decreasing the gray matter in our brains that's responsible for our cognitive thinking. So if we honed in and scanned our lane, as you stated, how much freer would you become?
Yes.
And how much will your business really expand? Because now you're focused. And then you can leave that legacy that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow. This is so good.
Can I be real with y'all?
Please and thank you, because we're real here.
Listen, so I'm gonna tell y'all the business that I was about to go into, right? I was like, people don't want to buy life insurance. People don't want to talk about retirement planning. I want to do something sexy. I'm going to
Right.
be a real estate investor, right? And so I started learning how to wholesale. And I went to this big conference, and there's this a woman here in Dallas. She has like this big movement for women in real estate investing. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be the bomb.com. I'm reading a book. I started the program. The first thing they say is knock on doors, right? You knock on doors and you get the list of foreclosures and so forth. And I was like, now I don't even knock on doors to sell life insurance.
Listen.
I'm gonna knock on doors. I'm 4'11" and I'm kind of cute. Not doing that. And
Yeah.
then it was like put the signs out and then put your number there and, and all the stuff that I started doing. I was like, this is not normal to me because I've built a six-figure business without having to knock on doors, without having to put signs out that say we buy houses. I'm not knocking those strategies because they do work, but the amount of time that it took for me to do that, get the foreclosed list, call those, I was like, I could be putting this same amount of time and energy to the business that is already a six-figure business and scale that instead of me starting a new one. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who may need to hear this, but sometimes when we go into spaces, we like to say, I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do that. And we feel like it makes us look like an expert. But the truth of the matter is, your most ideal clients and your highest profile clients are looking for experts. So when you go into a room where you're like, I'm an astronaut, I'm a caterer, I'm a teacher, I'm a preacher, I'm a singer, I design shoes, I sell jewelry, and
Make
I don't
handbags.
know, look, and I make baskets. Oh, and I'm a realtor. Oh, and I do taxes. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You can do all of those things, but where's your area of expertise? You know
Right.
what's happening in their mind? They're popping your balloon like pop next, but they're not going to tell you that. What they're going to say is, that's great. Thank you for sharing. But they're going to keep on networking, right? In the room, in the circles, in the virtual spaces, because they're looking for an expert. Because you don't sound like you really, really know who you are when you out there doing all the things. How you an astronaut and a teacher and a preacher at the same time? I mean, you
Right.
can be, but if you're out of space, like, how you gonna be out of space and on Earth at the same time? Right? And then you talking about you bake and decorate cakes. No, you can't make my cake like I need you to make my cake because you're too busy out there doing 17 different other things. And then you wonder why you feel overwhelmed. You
Right.
wonder why you feel disorganized. You feel like you're out of alignment. That's what it really is. When you are out of alignment and you are not moving according to your assignment, you are going to feel those things. You're going to
Absolutely.
feel overwhelmed.
Be in alignment with your assignment. You know,
Yeah.
ironically, that was my theme for 2024. That's so wild. It
Really?
sure was. Be
Great
in
minds think
alignment with
alike.
your. Let's be clear, this isn't another feel-good event. The Get Going Girl Summit is where overwhelm becomes organized and purpose meets plan. You'll walk away with the exact framework high-level women are using to stop the burnout spiral and scale with structure. Imagine having peace in your home and profit in your business. If you're ready to trade exhaustion for execution, this room was built just for you. Grab your tickets today because they are going. Let's get going, girl. This is so good, and I'm so glad you were able to come on here because I need women to understand you can have big dreams and goals. We want you to. And if you're not dreaming big, it's not big, and it doesn't like make you nervous, it's not big enough. Your dreams should be so just like out of the box, out of the world, but understand that there's a process and there's a lane that you should be following, and there is an alignment that should be taking place. And so
Yes,
you're
and I'm gonna help.
right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna help somebody with this too. You can be multifaceted. You can do a lot of things, but they have to be in alignment, right? So if you are going to say, I'm an author, I'm a movie producer, I'm doing all the things, like make sure they all go together,
Right.
right? Make
Right.
sure they all go together. Make sure, it matches, like there's some synergy there. So
Mhm.
if you are in a space where you're like, but I do so many things well, find that space where there's synergy and then lock in and stay there until you reach six figures, until you reach seven figures. Then you got time. Then you got room. Then you could start exploring other things. But until you get to 7 figures, mm-mm.
And
Don't
probably
do too
time
much.
and team to help you. Because I mean,
Yeah, and
trying
you
to
can
be
hire a team.
a
Yep.
little entrepreneur and it's just you and a VA maybe. The hell?
Mm.
You'll be all
You gon'
now
you
we
gonna
gotta
get
talk
tired.
about other health issues and everything else that's gonna come with that. So this
Mhm.
is a great segue to women understanding what the end state is for them and for them to be very clear on what it is they want. Talk to them about after you now have narrowed your focus, being very clear, whatever your heart's desire is, how do you make it meet to what God is, where He's directing you? Because sometimes we can have our voice, then there's God's voice. Talk to me maybe from your own personal experience of how do I know if this is what He
God is not the author of confusion. That
is?
is written on the wall in my home office. I built my home and I wrote Bible verses in every room. And in the wall of my office, that is the verse. God is not the author of confusion. So when I feel confused, I know I got to go to the one that's not the author of confusion. And if I keep feeling confused, I may be out of alignment or I'm just not talking to my creator enough. And so one of the things that I do is I ask God every day, God, give me the words to say, direct my moves, direct my path. And there are some days in which I do things and I'm like, dang, why did I do that? Why did I go down that road? Why did I miss that turn? Why did I forget to do this thing? And it's because God really wanted me to be somewhere else. Maybe I made that wrong turn because I was about to go into a accident, right? Maybe I didn't get to a certain place at a certain time because there was somebody I needed to meet or somebody I needed to avoid meeting, right?
Mhm.
And so I make sure that I am speaking to my creator every morning. All right, God, rig the algorithm in my favor so that this post go to all the people that need to see it and show me where to go. And show me where to go. Help me to have discernment to know what to say, what not to say, when to be quiet, and when to speak. And when I am not moving according to the Holy Spirit, like I feel it, I be like, dang, I should have said that. I should have said that.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
should have said something. I know I should have said something.
Mhm.
Right. And so that is how you can be less confused. Like, ask God, He will give you clarity. And if you are a spiritual person like I am, like you know how God speak to you. You ask God, speak to me in the way you speak to me. Like, you know, you come to me in the shower. When I take a shower this week, I need you to visit me.
Mhm.
You come to me in my dreams. You show me things in my dreams. Make it clear, make it plain. You speak through other people. All the ways that we get those signs of a confirmation, pray to receive those signs. I know I'm sounding super like preachy tonight, but
No,
this
I
is
mean,
just
but
how I feel.
why?
I'm just being honest.
No, and this is what we need, and that's how we do here. A
Yeah.
very casual, very real and raw conversation where some women may not, this may be the first place they've heard this.
Mm.
We don't know
That's
that.
true. That's true.
So we continue to give what as the Lord downloads things to us and as we're talking, we make sure that we share it with the masses because that's part of alignment. He'll download
Yes.
something, you know, we think the conversation might go this way, it'll go this way because that's where he wants it to go. There's a message that needed to come forth right now tonight. And I think this is
Yes.
perfect. Wow, Dr. Terri, I don't want you giving them too much. This was just a little teaser.
Listen, just a little teaser.
A little
I
teaser.
listen, little teaser. I just got one more thing I'm gonna add to that last statement because I think it's gonna help somebody, and then I'm gonna say, listen, y'all got to get in the room. You got to get in the room because if you feel like this is good, imagine what it's like when we're in the room and we can really usher you into your next level. But
Okay.
this is what I'm gonna say. I'm a single woman, and I kissed a lot of frogs. Can I be real with y'all? Now,
Yeah.
Leslie, you've been married for a long time. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. But those of us out here who kissed a lot of frogs, I'm going to tell you what we prayed, right? So this is what we do. We say, Lord, if he ain't the one, show me a sign. Then God shows a sign. Then we be like, if he really not the one, show me another sign. Show me another sign. Like, and God's like, no. Like, dang, but I really want him to be. No, And it gets to the point to where we can choose to heed what we know God has already confirmed. He's shown us the signs, or we can continue to do what we want to do. We do the same thing in our business. We say, God, give me the sign. Should I go down this road? He'd be like, nope. He'd be like, but it looks real good, but the road is shiny, but all my friends doing it. He's like, no, that ain't it. But this is what's popular. I'ma do this. He
Mhm.
like, all right, bet. You'll be back.
Because he tells us, hey, I give you free will.
Mhm. I give you free will, but you asked me, you gonna find out. So the same way that when we are meeting a potential mate and we're like, is he the one? If God is a no.
Right. And we got to follow and be okay with the no,
Yep. And that's the
because he
same way
knows
with
what's best
business
for
too.
us. He's our father, and he wants us to be well. We
He
are
does.
his children. That means we are royalty. He doesn't want us out here, So yes, women, please follow the directions as they are given to you. And part of the next set of directions that's going to be given to you on this evening is to go to G3summit.live and get your ticket for this summit. Dr.
Yeah.
Terri, so those that are in the room will get to see you up and close and feel and just get all that energy and synergy. But for those who are watching and listening in right now, and they heard something that really spoke to their soul, to their shanana, I like to say, how can they work with you? How can they find you and connect?
Oh, beautiful. Well, I would say you can go to jointerri.com, and that is TERRI.com. It will give you an opportunity to join a free community where I'm giving tips, tools, and strategies to help you on your wealth building journey. And if you're really interested in knowing how you can work more closely with me, whether it's to attract more abundance in your life or how to retire wealthy, you can send me a message at 903 224-6151. Okay. 903-224-6151. And I will reach out to you. We'll have virtual coffee. We'll talk about what it is that you want to talk about, and we'll see if we're a right fit for each other.
I love it. I tell you, I just thank you. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited what's getting ready to go down September
Yeah.
18th through the 20th. So, ladies, if you've been listening, you heard this gem that sits before us tonight. I do want you to go get your ticket, G3summit.live. Now, hear me good. 18 August is the last day that the tickets will be at the threshold of where they are now. They will go up on the 19th. So this is a call to move quickly. Success loves speed. So go ahead and get in the room. Come see us at the Get Going Girl Summit. It's going to be high energy, dope speakers, vendors, just a whole edified experience. But most of all, there's going to be a transformation that's going to take place. You will not leave the same way that you enter those doors. I can guarantee you that. We look forward to seeing you. Meanwhile, as you're going and coming, if anything on this podcast tonight, this episode that sat with you and resonated with you, I encourage you to subscribe, to tell a friend, to like the podcast, share what you learned, and we look forward to seeing you on future episodes. Make sure you do that for us. In the meantime, in between time, make sure that you continue to pivot with poise despite the noise, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where clarity meets calling and powerhouse women rise with purpose. If today's episode lit a fire in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another boss woman who's ready to live boldly and lead with grace. And if you're craving even more tools, truths, and next level strategies, join our inner circle. Head to girlorganizethatlife.com to get exclusive content, priority access to upcoming events, and the kind of faith-fueled inspiration that keeps you grounded and growing. Remember, you don't have to hustle for your worth. You were born for this. Stay rooted in faith, anchored in purpose, and always pivot with poise despite the noise. Until next time, girl, organize that life and live it boldly. Bye for now.
Coach L3.